Okay, today we have former Whitman women's basketball student athlete Heather Johns. Heather, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for inviting me to come on today.
Oh, absolutely. So this past week, one of the reasons I'm having you on is that you were named to the D3Hoops.com Women's Basketball All-Decade Team, which I'm sure brings up a lot of great memories for you. But I wanted to, before we got into basketball, I wanted to update everyone what's going on in your life. You're in your fourth year of medical school at University of Washington, is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Fourth and last year of medical school.
Good, good.
Yeah.
How's that going? Talk about it for a little bit.
Um, it's going well. So for those of you who don't know, medical school is 4 years long. I'm studying to be a physician. So in, I think May or June, I don't know, it's too far ahead, but sometime in summer 2021, I'll graduate with my MD. So far, I've loved it. Starting kind of in your second and third year, you really start to get into the hospitals and clinics in medical school and get a break from just being in the classroom and just books all the time. And that part has just been amazing. Getting to interact with patients and learn from docs in real life medicine is fantastic. And it's fun to see all the different specialties and try to figure out what you want to do with the rest of your life.
What specific area are you looking to go into, and what are your plans after professionally?
Yeah. So following medical school, like I'm in the year that you apply to residency programs for specific specialties that you want to go into. And so we're kind of in crunch time right now of really making decisions on what specialty that is. And COVID, of course, threw a wrench in all of that a little bit. But right now I'm planning to apply to otolaryngology, head and neck surgery residency programs. So more commonly known as ENT, ear, nose, and throat docs. And that will be a minimum 5-year residency after medical school.
You're done, You're almost done with school, but you got another 5+ years, right?
Yeah, lots of training left. So
what are you hoping to do when you complete your residency? Where would you like? Oh, well, let me first ask, where do you want to do your residency? What are your options?
That's a great question. There are many programs across the United States. There's only one program in Washington, and that's at UW. It's very competitive. There are a couple other programs in the Pacific Northwest, but the programs are very dense on the East Coast, much like, basketball teams and colleges in D3. So it's kind of just a random, I'm going to apply to more than 50 programs.
Wow.
And if you're not familiar with the residency match system, it's like you apply in the fall of your fourth year. Places invite you for interview who are interested in you, and you go interview. And then after everyone has interviewed, then both the applicants kind of make their rank list. So they pick, what's my number one, what's my number two, etc. And then the programs kind of do the same thing with applicants. So they say, my number one person is so-and-so, and then they go down. And then at the end of the day, on one single day, every medical student, fourth year medical student in the nation, gets this envelope after an algorithm, finds the best match for everyone. And you're told where you're going to spend. Yeah, exactly. So it's just this horribly scary unknown that I just won't know until March 19th, I believe, unless it changes due to COVID. But
yeah, that's crazy. Where are you hoping to go? I know you spent time in Walla Walla. You mentioned over email your family's in Tri-Cities right now. You're in Seattle. What are your hopes?
I would love to stay in the Pacific Northwest if I could. UW has an amazing program. It's also incredibly competitive. OHSU down in Oregon has a good program as well. And then some other places that have kind of caught my eye are the Mayo Clinic campuses, both in Minnesota and Arizona. And then there are a few others, and I'm still in the process of just learning and searching and trying to figure out what I want out of a program, because they're all very different. So we'll see. TBD. Yeah.
You mentioned about COVID, and I think over email we communicated. You said that school was on hold for a little bit. What's the status right now?
The status right now is that we're finally back.
Wow.
We went on hold, I think, in the middle or very beginning of March. Like I was gonna start my rotation in ENT basically at Seattle Children's. I was here in Seattle, ready to go Sunday night, and got an email, was like, nope, no medical students anywhere in hospitals and clinics, you're done, like, please do not report in the morning. And that held until the very end of June. So we were out of our training. And so it was a little easier for the students who are in their first and second years who are learning from books and in the classroom, because they could just do the remote thing. It was harder for us who are in our clinical phases, for sure. Yeah, so the school tried to put together some kind of remote learning for us, and we actually had a pandemics class that they pulled together really quickly, and I thought did a great job on teaching us about, you know, the history of pandemics and kind of helping us go through data of COVID. But then otherwise I spent time babysitting. So I ended up going back home to my parents' house because free rent.
Right.
Yeah, so I babysat my 3-year-old cousin, did a lot of yard work for my parents, putting in retaining walls and things. And then I studied for my kind of second board licensing exam and was able to take that at the very end of our quarantine.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I want to shift to basketball right now.
Cool.
You know, for those Whitman fans, I'm familiar with you. You know, I got to go to the glasses now. I need them. Two-time All-American, holds the program record for points in a season, ranks in the program's top 3 in scoring, steals, and top 10 in rebounds. And all this only in 3 years. You're part of that 2014 national finalist run. Talk about that run and just that season.
Oh gosh. That season carries so many memories for me. We had such a great team, a great group of girls, a great group of coaches. We got along really well, and we, you know, our sole mission was to get to that national championship game from day one. And we were determined. Practices were super intense. I think, you know, in Coach's interview on the D3 Hoops, she said a comment that rung really well with me is, you know, we had Sarah Andrade, who hated losing, and then I hated it even more. And I think that can be said for the rest of our team as well. We all hated losing, and so we were intense every single day. And it paid off, and it was such a fun run, so amazing to get to play on the national stage that we wanted to. Of course, it was heartbreaking and utterly devastating to lose that game. So it's a little bittersweet, but those memories from that trip to Wisconsin will be with me forever, even after the loss. And that's probably even the most memorable thing about our team was after the loss, how we came together and still loved on each other. We spent the whole night with each other in a hotel room, you know, crying and laughing and all sorts of stuff. And it was just really special moments to put a cap on that season and on that team.
I'm going to read a quote for you from Michelle Ferenz, because I got some information on her.
Okay.
See your thoughts. She mentioned a handful of names from that team. She said, and I quote, "These women taught me a lot about myself as a coach, and I grew professionally and personally from working with them. They made me better and challenged me to improve." What are your thoughts on that?
I'm humbled to hear that, you know, because I think we can say the opposite, that we learned so much from Coach about leadership and teamwork and just having a grit and I'm really humbled to hear that she feels the same from us, and that we could further her coaching skills and just personal development in that way. And it's true. I mean, I echo what she said. I learned so much from my teammates. We had an amazing group of seniors that year. Sarah Andrag, Mara Allendogan, I'm going to say that wrong because it's been a while since I've heard it on the overhead. Tiffany Traver, Megan White. They just were such a great group of leaders and brought the whole team together. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. There's just so much.
Well, fantastic. Listen, Heather, I know you're a very busy individual, so I want to thank you for coming on today. I'm sure people watching will be glad to learn about what's going on in your life right now and just revisit some of the memories they probably shared with you. But so thanks a lot, and take care, all right?
Okay, thank you so much. Nice to see you all.